In Winterfell, Reek brings food to Sansa. She pleads with him for help, revealing that she has been locked inside her bedchamber ever since her wedding night. Every evening, Ramsay visits her and forces himself upon her. Reek responds only by advising her to obey Ramsay, warning that resisting could lead to even harsher treatment. Curious, Sansa asks what Ramsay did to break him so completely, but Reek cannot bring himself to answer. As he tries to leave, Sansa grabs his arm and reminds him that he once betrayed her family. Stricken with guilt, Reek begins to apologize repeatedly. Sansa then tells him that her family still has loyal supporters in the north. She instructs him to light a candle at the top of the broken tower, a signal that she is in danger. When Reek hesitates and refuses, Sansa calls him by his real name, Theon Greyjoy, and makes him promise to help her. Reluctantly, he agrees, "I'll do it for you." Later, Reek trudges through the snow, carrying the candle up the stairs, only to walk directly into Ramsay's room. Later, Sansa is brought to see Ramsay on the ramparts, which are still being built. While his attention is elsewhere, she notices a corkscrew on a nearby barrel and quietly takes it. Ramsay then talks about how he believes they will easily defeat Stannis' army because his own soldiers are trained to fight in the snow, unlike Stannis' men. He also shares his ambition of one day becoming the Lord of Winterfell and the Warden of the North. For Sansa, seeing him brings back the painful memory of her unborn baby. She points out that if the child had been a boy, he would have had a stronger claim to the North, because he would have been a true-born son. In response, Ramsay reminds her that he is Ramsay Bolton's eldest son and has been legitimized by the king. But Sansa quickly fires back, reminding him that the king himself is also a bastard. This clearly angers Ramsay, though he holds back his temper. Instead, he calmly remarks that even bastards can rise in the world, and shares the news that Jon Snow has been appointed as the new Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. He then changes the subject to explain why he called for her. With cruel satisfaction, he reveals the flayed and crucified body of the old woman who had promised to help Sansa escape by lighting a candle in the broken tower. Ramsay tells her that Reek came to him and confessed everything, crushing her only hope. As Sansa struggles to hold back her tears, Ramsay cheerfully orders his men to escort her back to her room. Meanwhile, in a nearby inn, Brienne watches the walls of Winterfell closely, waiting patiently for any sign that Sansa needs her help. During a fierce snowstorm, Stannis and his soldiers set up camp. Davos Seaworth goes to speak with Stannis and reports that 40 horses died the previous night, and even more are expected to perish by sunset. He also shares that the Stormcrows, a group of sellswords, have slipped away during the night. Davos believes their best option is to return to Castle Black and wait out the storm, especially since they are running low on food. However, Stannis firmly refuses to turn back. He explains that he cannot afford to be remembered as the king who ran, and retreating would harm his reputation. Additionally, with winter fast approaching, they risk being trapped at Castle Black for months or even years, giving the Boltons time to rebuild their strength. Realizing there's no way to change Stannis' mind, Davos quietly takes his leave. Stannis asks Melisandre if she is absolutely certain they will win the coming battle at Winterfell. She tries to reassure him by reminding him that he too once saw a vision of his victory in the flames. But Stannis admits he is no longer sure about what he truly witnessed. Melisandre firmly insists that her visions are always fulfilled, yet she also warns him that to guarantee their success, a sacrifice is necessary, one that requires royal blood. The implication is clear: they must burn Shireen. Enraged by the suggestion, Stannis immediately orders her to leave.